Hey, one of my favorite quotes comes from one of my favorite people, a person I regard as incredibly wise and compassionate, and that's Gabor Mate. And Gabor said, "The road to hell is not paved with good intentions. It is paved with no intentions." And I couldn't agree more. And I believe this because intentionality, our intentions, is literally the only way in which something resembling choice or free will manifests in our lives as humans. And this is because we just don't grasp the fact that our free will, if it exists at all, is just the tiniest sliver of something that exists for us that represents genuine choice. Let me explain. Many people believe that there is a destiny, some sort of fate determined for us, that there is a purpose that we are born with, that there are lessons that we need to learn in life, and that the universe will throw circumstances at us that show us what we need to learn. In other words, that we are led down a path that is specific to us. And I don't believe that for a second, because it implies that there's a greater intelligence that operates on us at an individual level, that plots out a course for us where we will keep being confronted by this until we learn the lesson that is specific to us. What I believe is that there is no lesson that is specific to us. There is a lesson that is specific to humanity. In other words, there is only one core lesson that we all have to learn, and that is acceptance. Acceptance of where we are right now and everything that happened to get us to that point, good, bad, indifferent. The minute that we put any kind of judgment onto every one of the million sliding door moments that led us to where we are right now, the more responsibility we give away to those things, and the less responsibility we take for what happens in our future. And it's that sliver. You can do absolutely nothing about the present and the past that led you to this present, this moment, the next moment, the next moment. You're there. You have no choice in it. And there's no point in looking back and saying, I should have done this, I should have done that. There are no shoulds. And it could not have been any other way. Listen to Peter Crone on this point. It could not, and we know it could not because it wasn't. If it could have been another way, it would have been another way, but it wasn't. We have to accept that. We have to accept that every single thing that happened to us, however we judge it, happened. As soon as you accept that, you can accept the present, you can be aware in the present, which is the ideal state to live in. But importantly, we can look to the future and go, I want it to be a certain way, and we can bring intentionality to that. In other words, we have this opportunity, this tiny sliver of an opportunity to make a choice about how we want things to be in the future. And this is where intentionality comes in. Because as soon as we make that choice, we accept where we are and everything that led to it. And then we go, okay, I want it to be different. And I'm now going to set an intention that does all it can to lead me to that point. It's that choice. What do I want to be or experience in the future? And how do I get from the present, which I can do nothing about, to that point? That's our choice, and that's where we need to bring intentionality. And everybody can make a different choice, right? We don't know where those choices come from, the product of our conditioning, the circumstances, experience, luck. Everything that led us to this point will to some extent determine where we choose to be in the future. Now, bear in mind that life just plows on, and there's all these elements of luck that you can do nothing about. In other words, your choice is just a sliver. But it's important, because the minute you bring intention to where you want to end up, you start making minute to minute good choices that lead you towards that intention, unless you get lazy, unless you fall back into the default, where you forget your intention or you fail to follow through on your intentions for any reason, and you start to live by default. You start to react based on your conditioning from the past you can do nothing about. And this is why presence and intention is so vital to a good life and a good future, because without it, you will simply carry on doing what you have always done. And then you'll wonder why the hell you end up in the situation that you hate. So, what I'm suggesting here most strongly is that you become intentional through a choice. Set a goal, and one of the ways in which I find it useful to do that is to look ahead at the eulogy situation. This is a fairly common technique. So what do you want people to say about you at your funeral? What's important to you? How do you want to be remembered by your loved ones and the people who knew you? So imagine your ideal eulogy, and then ask yourself this in each moment. Is the choice I'm making, is what I'm doing, is my intentionality taking me closer to that eulogy or away from it, or is it neutral and pointless? Is what I'm doing serving me in as much as it's taking me towards that memory, towards whatever joy and pleasure you're seeking in life that will make you the kind of person who gets the eulogy that you want and that you believe you deserve at the end of your life? And make those intentional choices, those tiny slivers of free will that you're assigned by virtue of being a human, being stuck in time and space as we are, and make those choices and become intentional, minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day, week to week, year to year. And what you will find is that the joy that you get by moving towards something with purpose, to having a mission, to be present to your experience and to the people that you're sharing your experience and life with, will bring you joy and them joy, because nothing flatters a person more and wells up with more love than feeling someone's genuine presence and commitment to the interaction that you're having. You know when somebody you're with is zoned out, when they're somewhere in nostalgia in the past, or thinking about something in the future, or just not truly present with you. Now reverse your knowledge of that situation and know that for the people you're interacting with, your full presence, your commitment, your focus is the most flattering, joyful thing that you can give them. It is the greatest gift you can give anybody, your undivided attention, your focus, your presence. And so all of this ties together in these simple things. The lesson that the universe, life, God, source, however you look at this, the cosmos is trying to teach you is accept what is and what has been. What choice do you have? Choose the future that you want and create intentions that take you towards that future. And in each moment, acceptance will mean that whatever happens in that winding course towards your intended future, you will be able to accept it. Make a new choice, create a new intention, minute by minute, day by day. And because of that, because you will understand what presence, choice, and intention is, you will be a better person, both for yourself and for the people that you love and who surround you. I hope you find that helpful.